50 years ago, New York City was a very different place. Crime was rampant and the mafia was running the show.
People once called New York Fun City. Now the police are calling it Fear City.
Michael Franzese was a high-ranking mobster for the Colombo family, one of 5 families ruling New York in the 70s.
It was the golden era of the mob. The FBI couldn't keep up with us.
Over the next decade, he took part in many lucrative schemes, even securing the 8th spot on Fortune magazine's most wealthy and powerful mafia bosses. But all that changed in 1986.
Michael pleaded guilty to several counts of racketeering in New York and Florida. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison, $10 million in restitution, and $5 million in forfeiture of assets.
After serving his time, Michael renounced his former life and quit the mob. And decades later, he's using his story to inspire millions.
And the man himself joins us live now from Santa Barbara. Michael, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, Michael.
I mean, it's pretty incredible to be talking to one of the few people who walks away from the mob.
Well, thanks for having me. Yeah, I guess I am one of the few, but very fortunate, very blessed.
Tell us a bit about how that all came about.
Well, you know, my dad was the underboss of one of the 5 New York families, the Colombo family. And originally, he didn't want this life for me. I was going to school. I was going to be a doctor. But he drew a 50-year prison sentence back in 1970, went off to prison. I was 19 years old and really was in charge of helping my family and trying to get my dad out of prison. So I met him in the visiting room, Leavenworth Penitentiary, and we decided at that point that, you know, my career would change. I would follow in his footsteps, enter the life, and do my best to try to get him released from prison and take care of my family.
It's just about every bloke's favourite movie, The Godfather, and The Godfather 2 and 3. It kind of glamorised the world to an extent, but also showcased its brutal nature. How much of that was kind of reality for you?
Well, The Godfather was fictional, you know, a brilliant movie, no doubt. Godfathers 1 and 2, brilliant, but it was fictional. But, you know, listen, you know, there's a very difficult time to that life, obviously a difficult side of that life. For myself, I became a major target of law enforcement. I was indicted 7 times. I went to trial 5 times. I had racketeering cases. As you know, I did 10 years in prison. So that was tough. And look, you know, there's a lot on the street that you have to deal with both law enforcement and, of course, your own people. And it's pretty tough to navigate that life successfully. And, you know, to be able to walk away and have a life after, very, very fortunate to be able to do that. I didn't know how it was going to work out, but fortunately for me, it did work out. But, you know, as far as the movies are concerned, I would consider, you know, Goodfellas, Donnie Brasco, Bronx Tale, a lot more accurate than The Godfather. And The Godfather did romanticize and glamorize the life to a degree. And, you know, honestly, people, I never realized how intriguing the life is to people outside of the life when I was part of that life. You don't realize that. But once I got out and started speaking all over the world, I was really amazed at the intrigue and the interest that people have in that life. Yeah, I guess I understand it now.
Well, yeah, and you are that real-life character in that Goodfellas movie too. So it's like life imitating art in a sense. But do you still worry a little bit? Are you looking over your shoulder at all, or is that just all in the past, the mobster life?
You know, 3 weeks in Italy, and people were asking me, Michael, what are you doing in Italy? If people recognize you, and don't get me wrong, I don't advertise the fact that I'm there, but you know, everybody I knew in that life is either dead or in prison for the rest of their lives, every one of them. And, you know, I never put anybody in prison. I didn't cooperate with the government and turn against my former associates. I just walked away, you know, so, and that helped a lot. I mean, obviously, if I'd cooperated and put people in prison, I would have had a much harder road to navigate. But I didn't do that. And, you know, I guess now, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't go back to Brooklyn and say, hey, guys, I'm moving back into the neighborhood. That wouldn't be very smart. But, you know, nobody's actively pursuing me at this point in time.
I don't know. I just want to know, were you in the north of Italy or the south of Italy? Because it can be a very big difference.
That's right.
Well, normally I go to the south of Italy, but this was the first time we went north, and it was great.
No wonder they were all right.
It's safe, yeah.
Hey, Michael, you're coming down under. We look forward to seeing you. It'll be a fascinating evening. You can buy tickets to see Michael down under at abstract.net.au.
Hey there, Today fans. Sarah and...
What's my name again?
Oh my goodness, Carl.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel, though. Subscribe now for more news, special reports, and amazing Aussie stories.
And Carl misbehaving,
Whoa,
of course.
that never happens.
Always happens.
What's she talking about?
Always happens.